The whistle blew like a gunshot in my chest. And there he was, Jordan, my stepbrother, charging across the gym floor, his sneakers screeching against the polished wood as if the devil himself had lit a fire under his soles. "You're done, Alex. Hand over the scholarship or I'll bury you right here," he snarled, his voice cracking with a rage I'd never heard before, eyes wild like storm clouds over the Jersey shore. In that split second, as his fist clenched and the air thickened with the scent of sweat and betrayal, I realized the boy I'd grown up idolizing had just become the man who could shatter everything we'd built. It was supposed to be just another practice session in the echoing halls of Lincoln High in Asbury Park, New Jersey. The kind where the late afternoon sun slanted through the high windows like golden bars of a cage, trapping us in our endless cycle of push-ups, sprints, and that gnawing hunger for more. I'd been killing it on the varsity basketball team, my stats lighting up the scouts' radars like fireworks on the 4th of July. 20 points a game, assists that made Coach Ramirez weep with joy. College was knocking. Full ride to Rutgers, whispering promises of escape from the cramped beach bungalow Dad and his new wife, Elena, called home. Jordan, he was the wild card, the stepbrother who'd crashed into our lives 3 years ago when Elena married Dad, bringing her 15-year-old firecracker of a son with her. Tall, lean like a boardwalk surfer, with that mop of sun-bleached hair and a grin that could disarm a SWAT team, he'd slotted into our world like he belonged. But beneath the high-fives and late-night video game marathons, there was always this undercurrent, a quiet storm brewing. We'd bonded over the grind from day one. I'd show him the ropes, dribbling drills until our palms blistered, free throws under the rim's unforgiving shadow. He'd laugh it off, call me bro, with that easy affection that made my stomach flip in ways I couldn't name back then. Growing up in Asbury, where the ocean crashed eternal and the boardwalk hummed with summer dreams, you'd think life was all salt air and possibility. But for me, it was layers of hiding. The whispers in the locker room about who was too soft, the way I'd steal glances at the curve of a teammate's jawline during huddles, heart pounding harder than during overtime. I wasn't out, not to Dad, not to the team, and sure as hell not to Jordan. He was straight as the Garden State Parkway, or so I told myself, chasing girls at beach parties while I nursed crushes in silence. That day, though, everything cracked open. We'd been running suicides, those brutal back-and-forth sprints that left your quad screaming, when Coach called a water break. I was chugging from my bottle, sweat stinging my eyes, when Jordan sidled up, his shoulder brushing mine in that casual way that always lingered a beat too long. "Hey Ace," he said, using my nickname like it was ours alone. "Heard about the Rutgers scout coming Friday. You nervous?" His tone was light, but his eyes, those hazel eyes flecked with green like sea glass, held something sharper. I shrugged, wiping my mouth. "Nah, just another game." "Why, you gunning for it too?" Jordan was good, damn good. A junior phenom with a crossover that left defenders eating his dust. But he wasn't me. Not yet. He leaned in closer, voice dropping to a murmur only I could hear over the drip of the locker room faucet echoing in my mind. "Maybe I am. Maybe I'm tired of being the sidekick in your highlight reel." There it was, the first fracture. I'd always assumed his fire was admiration, that competitive spark brothers share. But as he pulled back, that grin twisting into something feral, I felt the ground shift under my Nikes. Practice dragged on, the gym's fluorescent buzz a relentless drone. We scrimmaged, me against him, bodies colliding in the paint like waves against the jetty. Every steal he made felt personal, every block a declaration. By the final buzzer, I was gassed, chest heaving as I collapsed onto the baseline. Jordan loomed over me, offering a hand up that I ignored, pride stinging worse than the floor burn on my elbow. "Get over yourself, Alex," he spat, voice echoing off the cinderblock walls painted in faded school blue. "World doesn't revolve around you." He stormed off to the showers, leaving me there in the gathering dusk, the weight of unspoken things pressing down like the humid Jersey air. That night, back in the bungalow with its creaky screen doors and the distant roar of Atlantic City casinos, I couldn't shake it. Dad was working late at the auto shop, Elena at her nursing shift, so it was just us, Jordan blasting hip-hop from his room, me staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazy circles. I thought about knocking, hashing it out like we used to over stolen slices of pizza on the boardwalk. But something held me back. Fear? Or the way my pulse quickened at the memory of his hand almost touching mine. Friday came like a freight train. The gym was packed. Parents in folding chairs, scouts in ill-fitting polos scribbling notes, the air thick with Axe body spray and anticipation. I was locked in, sinking threes like it was nothing, the ball whispering through the net with a swish that felt like destiny. Jordan subbed in midway, and that's when it turned. He was a demon, driving the lane, dishing no-looks, blocking my layup with a force that sent me sprawling. The crowd ate it up, cheers swelling like the tide. But in the huddle, his whisper cut deeper. "See? I can do this without you carrying me." Half-time, I confronted him in the tunnel, the concrete cool against my back. "What the hell, man? This your big plan? Sabotage me in front of everyone?" His laugh was bitter, echoing like a bad echo. "Sabotage? Bro, I'm just playing my game. You've had the spotlight since mom married your dad. Time I took what's mine." The second half blurred. Fouls, turnovers, my focus splintering. Rutgers scouts' pens stopped moving. By buzzer, we'd lost by 8. Jordan with the game-high 22. Me benched for attitude. In the locker room, as steam rose from the showers, he cornered me by the sinks. "You felt that, didn't you?" he said, towel slung low, water dripping from his hair. "I'm not your shadow anymore." I shoved him hard, chest to chest, the air between us electric. "You're my brother, Jordan. This isn't you." His eyes softened for a flicker, then hardened. "Maybe it is. Maybe I've been lying to myself longer than you know." He walked away, leaving me with the echo of those words and a heart that wouldn't settle. The fallout hit like a nor'easter. Dad grounded us both, muttering about family sticking together. But the rift was there, a chasm widening with every avoided glance at dinner. Elena tried bridging it with her soft Spanish lilt, plates of arroz con pollo steaming between us. But Jordan and I spoke in grunts, the bungalow feeling smaller than ever. School was worse. Whispers in the halls about the freak-out brothers. Teammates picking sides. I threw myself into extra drills, running the bleachers at dawn until my lungs burned. But every shadow on the court was his. 2 weeks later, the betrayal landed like a sucker punch. I overheard it in the parking lot after practice. Jordan on the phone, voice low and urgent. "Yeah, coach, I get it. The scout called me personally. Rutgers wants a visit. Alex? Nah, he's washed up." My blood ran cold. He'd gone behind my back, spun the narrative, painted me as the has-been to steal my shot. I confronted him that night in the garage, amid the tang of motor oil and Dad's half-fixed Chevy. "You sold me out," I hissed, fists balled. "For what?" A pat on the back. He didn't flinch, leaning against the workbench, arms crossed like armor. "You don't get it, Alex. I've been busting my ass in your wake for years, hiding who I am because you were the golden boy, straight-A jock with the perfect life. Hiding." The word hung, heavy. Jordan's gaze dropped, then lifted raw, unguarded. "Yeah, hiding that this rivalry is not just about ball. It's about you. Always has been." The world tilted. In that dim garage light, with the hum of the fridge from the kitchen and the distant crash of waves, he stepped closer. Not aggressive, but vulnerable, like the kid who'd first shown up with a duffel bag and eyes full of questions. "I thought outperforming you would make it stop, make me straight or whatever, but it didn't. It just made me want you more." My breath caught, a dam breaking. All those flips in my stomach, the stolen glances, they weren't one-sided. Jordan, my stepbrother, the rival who'd lit my world on fire, was gay. Like me. And he'd been torching bridges to keep the flames from consuming us both. We didn't kiss that night, no dramatic sweep like in the movies. Instead, we talked, words tumbling out in the Jersey dark. My crushes buried under bravado, his confusion since puberty hit like a rogue wave. The betrayal? A desperate bid to push me away before the truth dragged us under. By dawn, as the sky pinked over the ocean, something shifted. Not love, not yet, but understanding, fragile as sea glass. From there, the gym became our confessional. We'd meet pre-dawn. When the world slept, running plays not to compete but to connect. Jordan's laugh echoed freer, my shots truer. We came out to each other fully, hands brushing during water breaks, eyes holding promises. But America isn't kind to stories like ours. Not in a beach town where fag gets tossed like loose change. Not with Dad's old-school machismo and Elena's Catholic guilt lurking. The climax brewed at the state qualifiers in Trenton, the Prudential Center's arena lights blazing like Judgment Day. We'd patched enough to play as a unit, but tensions simmered, teammates side-eyeing our bromance, scouts circling like sharks. Midway through the semis, disaster struck. Jordan twisted an ankle on a fast break, crumpling with a cry that pierced me deeper than any buzzer beater. I carried him off, the crowd's roar fading to white noise, his hand gripping mine like a lifeline. In the trainer's room, ice packs and fluorescent hum, he confessed the rest. I told the scout lies because I was scared. Scared you'd never see me as more than bro, scared Dad would disown us both. Tears stung mine, his, as I pressed my forehead to his. Idiot. I've seen you. Always have. Recovery was hell. Weeks of PT, Jordan sidelined, me carrying the team solo. Whispers turned to shouts. A locker room prank, slurs scrawled on our bags. We fought back quiet, reporting, ignoring, holding each other in stolen moments by the dunes, salt wind whipping our secrets safe. But betrayal's shadow lingered. Dad found out. Overheard a call to a counselor, saw the way our eyes lingered. His face in the kitchen that night, thundercloud over the boardwalk. This ain't right, boys. Not under my roof. Elena mediated, her voice a bridge, but the fracture ran deep. Jordan packed a bag, talked of crashing with an aunt in Philly. I begged him to stay. Our first real fight as lovers, raw, wrenching, words like family, and forever clashing like cymbals. The night before he left, we sat on the gym floor, the same spot where it all ignited. Moonlight slanted through windows, casting silver on the lines we'd towed 1,000 times. Outperform this, I whispered, pulling him close. Our lips met, tentative, then fierce. A kiss tasting of sweat and sea, sealing what words couldn't. He didn't leave. Dad came around, grudgingly. After Elena's tears and a six-pack shared on the porch, stories of his own hidden pains from the war. Just, be careful, he grumbled, clapping our shoulders. Acceptance, American style, messy, hard one. Graduation came, caps tossed under Jersey skies. Rutgers took us both, walk-ons, but together. The gym floor, the sacred now etched with our steps. Jordan's ankle healed stronger, my game's sharper for his fire. We walked the boardwalk hand in hidden hand, waves crashing approval. Betrayal forged us. Rivalry revealed us. In the end, outperforming wasn't about winning, it was about loving, fully, flaws and all. And in this vast, bruised country, that's the real championship. Life after that kiss wasn't fireworks and fade to credits. It was the slow burn of real days, the kind where you learn a man's laugh can unravel you as much as his touch. Jordan and I navigated it like rookies in a pro league, stolen moments in the Rutgers weight room, where the clang of iron plates drowned our whispers, or drives up the turnpike to hidden spots by the Delaware, where we'd park and talk until the stars wheeled overhead. He was a whirlwind, my stepbrother. Quick with a joke that left me doubled over, but shadowed by doubts that crept in like fog off the bay. What if they find out? He'd murmur, tracing patterns on my knee during late-night study sessions in our cramped dorm. The team, the coaches. We're not in Asbury anymore. I'd pull him closer, the mattress creaking under us like an old friend's sigh. Then we face it, together. But inside, fear gnawed mine too. College ball was cutthroat, scouts still sniffing for weaknesses. And in the locker rooms of Big Ten hopefuls, together could mean target practice. Fall semester blurred. Drills at dawn, classes in lecture halls that smelled of chalk and ambition, parties where we'd play straight, Jordan charming sorority girls with that grin, me nursing beers in corners, eyes tracking him across smoke-hazed rooms. One night at a frat bash in New Brunswick, the bass thumping like a migraine, it almost blew up. Some drunk linebacker cornered Jordan by the keg, slurring. Heard you and Ace got that weird brother vibe. What's the deal, pretty boy? Sharing more than plays. Jordan laughed it off, but I saw the flinch, the way his fist whitened around his cup. I waded in, shouldered the guy aside with a back-off, meathead. And we bailed, peeling out in my beat-up Civic, hearts hammering. We ended up at a diner off Route 1. Neon buzzing open 24/7, like a beacon for lost souls. Over greasy eggs and coffee black as midnight, Jordan broke. I hate pretending. Every fake smile, every nah I'm good when they ask about girls. It eats at me. And you, God, Alex, you make it worse. Better. Both. I reached across the formica, lacing our fingers under the table. Then let's stop. The words hung, bold as a full-court press. We decided then, come out to the team. Not a press conference, but honest, quiet talks one by one, starting with our roommate Mike, a lanky guard from Philly with a heart bigger than his jump shot. Mike took it like a champ, over pizza in the lounge. Dude, as long as you two don't start making out during film study, we're golden. Laughter eased the knot in my gut, but ripples spread. Practice tensed. Glances lingered. Whispers hissed. Coach Ramirez, who'd followed us from high school, pulled us aside after a sloppy scrimmage. Rumors, boys. Handle it or it handles you. His eyes, wise and weathered like Dad's, held no judgment, just warning. Winter hit hard. Snow blanketing the campus in hush, but our world heated. Jordan's rehab turned him fierce. He'd spot me on bench presses, hands steady on the bar, breath warm on my neck. One more ace. For us. We'd sneak to the empty natatorium after hours, diving into the pool's blue glow, bodies slicing water side by side, emerging to float and confess dreams. Him coaching someday. Me in sports psych, helping kids like us find their footing. But conflict brewed beyond the arc lights. Back home for break, Asbury's chill winds carried old ghosts. Dad had mellowed, invited us to a Sixers game, clapped Jordan on the back post bucket. But Elena's family visited, tios and taes with rosaries and raised brows. At Christmas Eve Mass, Jordan's hand brushed mine in the pew, and Aunt Rose's stare pinned us like butterflies. Later, over tamales, she cornered Elena. Mijos, different. You know, Elena defended, fierce mama bear, but the seed planted doubt. Jordan withdrew, snapping at me over nothing, the bungalow's walls closing in. New Year's Eve it erupted. Fireworks cracked over the boardwalk as we walked the planks, bundled against the bite. Cotton candy stands shuddered like forgotten promises. I can't do this halfway, Jordan said, stopping by the Ferris wheel's skeletal frame, hiding from them, from everyone. It's killing me. Then don't, I urged, but he shook his head, eyes stormy. You say that easy, but what if it costs us? The team, Dad's respect, our shot at normal. Normal. The word twisted like a knife. We argued under the stars, voices rising with the tide, me pushing for bold, him for safe. He stormed off toward the dunes, silhouette swallowed by dark. I chased, sand shifting underfoot, heart in my throat. Found him by the water's edge, knees drawn up, waves lapping like accusations. I'm sorry, I whispered, dropping beside him. Salt stung my eyes? Or was it tears? We sat in silence, the ocean's roar our confessor, until he leaned into me, head on my shoulder. Me too, just scared, bro. The word bro landed soft now, layered with love. We kissed there, fierce and forgiving, the new year blooming in bursts overhead. Resolution. Pace ourselves, build allies, let love be the muscle we trained hardest. Spring thawed the ice, but not the undercurrents. At Rutgers, a teammate outed us accidentally. A Snapchat story of us laughing too close in the weight room, captioned, "Bromance goals." It went viral on campus feeds like piling like snowdrifts. Backlash hit. Eggs on our door, fags out chalked on the sidewalk. But so did support. Rainbow flags in windows, Mike organizing a team meeting where half stood with us, voices overlapping in solidarity. Ball's ball, one said. Love who you love. Jordan bloomed under it, his game exploding. dunks that shook the rafters, interviews where he'd grin and say, "Couldn't do it without my guy." Me? I anchored steady point guard to his flash. But betrayal's echo lingered in smaller ways. A scout pulling back after personal concerns. Whispers from boosters with old money morals. Summer brought reprieve. Back to Asbury, jobs lifeguarding at Convention Hall Beach, days bronzing under relentless sun, nights tangled in my old twin bed when Dad worked doubles. Elena became our quiet champion, slipping us knowing smiles over breakfast, Dad grunting approval at our teamwork. One evening, as we grilled burgers on the patio, he cracked a beer for each of us. "Proud of you boys, whatever path." It wasn't poetry, but it was Dad, blunt, real, American as apple pie with a side of grit. Yet, as August loomed, shadows gathered. Jordan got a call. An AAU showcase in Vegas, big league eyes watching. "Come with," he begged. I couldn't. Summer class conflict. "It'll be fine," I said. Famous last words. He flew out, and that's when the Real storm broke. Not thunder, but lightning-fast deceit. Texts dried up. Calls went to voicemail. Panic clawed me as days stretched. Then a mutual friend messaged. Pic circulating, Jordan at a club, arm around some guy. Tall, tattooed, the kind of reckless pretty that screams trouble. Caption: Vegas nights with my new MVP. Betrayal, round 2. My world fractured. Phone slipping from numb fingers. Was it revenge? Fear? Or had the lights of Sin City revealed cracks I'd ignored? I drove the shore that night, windows down, wind whipping tears, waves mocking my shattered trust. Jordan, my brother, my love, outperforming me again, this time in heartbreak. The flight back from Vegas was a red-eye nightmare. Jordan's texts pinging like accusations. It wasn't what it looked like. "Please, Ace, talk to me." I ghosted him, holing up in the bungalow, waves crashing judgment outside my window. Dad noticed, his heavy tread on the stairs. Knock soft. "Rough patch." I nodded, throat tight, and he sat on the bed's edge, calloused hand on my shoulder. "Love's a contact sport, son. Bruises heal if you let 'em." Wisdom from the man who'd rebuilt engines and marriages, simple, profound. But healing? That felt like running suicides with lead in your shoes. When Jordan rolled in, duffel thumping the porch like a guilty verdict, I met him in the garage, neutral ground, tools scattered like our scattered trust. His face was haggard, eyes ringed dark as the oil stains on the concrete. "Alex, listen." "No." I cut in, voice steel. "You listen. We built this, us, brick by sweat-soaked brick. And you torch it for a stranger in some neon hellhole?" He winced, raking hands through hair grown shaggy. "It was stupid. One night, too many drinks, this guy from the showcase hits on me. I panicked. Thought if I played straight for a sec, the doubts would quiet. Proved I could choose normal. Normal." The word exploded, echoing off the rafters. "That's the betrayal, Jordan. Not the kiss, pretending we don't get to define our normal. After everything, the team, Dad, the slurs, we're still chasing their approval." Tears tracked his cheeks, mirroring mine. He stepped closer, not touching, space a chasm. "I'm poison, Ace. Always have been. Came into your life, stirred it up, made you question. Maybe I should. Stop." I closed the gap, hands fisting his shirt, pulling him flush. Our foreheads touched, breaths mingling ragged. "You're not poison. You're home." The kiss that followed was war and surrender. Teeth clashing, salt of tears, a vow forged in fire. We collapsed onto the workbench. Not lovers yet, but survivors, whispering apologies into the night. Rebuilding started small. Therapy sessions in a strip mall office near the Parkway. Dr. Patel's calm voice untangling our knots. "Rivalry masked fear," she'd say, her accent lilting like a gentle current. "Turn it to strength." We did. Joint runs on the beach at sunrise, feet pounding wet sand, talking trash that turned tender. Jordan opened up about his bio dad, the ghost who'd bailed when Elena needed him most, leaving scars of unworthiness. "Always chasing the wind to prove I'm enough," he admitted, as gulls wheeled overhead. I shared my own shadows, The middle school bullying after a sleepover experiment leaked, the way I'd armored up with stats and stoicism. You cracked that armor? I told him, lacing fingers at a beach bonfire, flames dancing like our future. Made me whole. Fall semester 2.0 hit with renewed fire. Campus had moved on from the Snapchat scandal, new dramas eclipsed old, but we'd grown spines of steel. We came out wider. A quiet assembly talk for the LGBTQ club, Jordan's voice steady as he said, "Love isn't a game you win alone." Applause thundered, and in its wake, allies multiplied. Mike started a Scarlet Allies network, rainbow laces on cleats during games. On the court, we synced like never before. Pick and rolls poetry. His drives feeding my threes, scouts murmuring dynamic duo instead of doubts. But America's underbelly snarled. A booster pulled strings, whispering distraction to the AD. Coach Ramirez fought back, citing our GPAs, our leadership. "These boys bleed scarlet." He boomed in a meeting I wasn't privy to. We stayed. Winter break brought magic. Asbury blanketed in rare snow. The boardwalk a wonderland of crunching hush. Dad and Elena threw a family reset party, Tios included, Elena's empanadas steaming beside Dad's ribs. Aunt Rosa pulled Jordan aside, her rosary clicking. Mijo loves God's design, however it comes. Her blessing, hard-earned, sealed cracks. New Year's, we renewed vows under the Ferris wheel. No arguments this time. Just a kiss as midnight tolled, fireworks blooming over the Atlantic like blessings. But climax loomed, inevitable as high tide. Spring showcase season ramped tension. We dominated regionals. The RAC Arena electric with chants of Ruthers, Jordan's ankle, once traitor. Propelled dunks that went viral, SPN clips captioned, Stepbrothers Steel Show. Scouts swarmed. Duke, Villanova, even overseas whispers. But envy festered. Enter Tyler Grant. Senior transfer from UNC. Chiseled jaw and a chip the size of Jersey on his shoulder. He'd heard the rumors, seen the clips, and saw us as threats. It started subtle. Shoulder checks and drills. Accidental steals. Then verbal locker room jabs. Brothers before. You know. We ignored, but Tyler escalated, cornering Jordan post-practice. Heard you're the sensitive one. That why you flop so much? Jordan shoved back, words flying, until I pulled him off, heart raging. Coach benched Tyler, but the poison spread. Teammates fracturing, whispers of division. Mike mediated, but trust eroded like dunes in a gale. Jordan withdrew, that old shadow creeping. See, we poison everything. No, I insisted, in our dorm as rain lashed the windows. He's the toxin. We're the cure. The breaking point. Championship weekend in Indy, March Madness. We faced Tyler's old squad in semis. Irony thick as Hoosier humidity. Game day, he cornered me in the hotel gym, weights clanging isolation. Your boy's a liability, ace. Dumps you for glory. Just like I heard. Lies twisted from Vegas ghosts. But they landed, doubt flickering. Halftime, down 8, locker room a pressure cooker. Tyler smirked from the bench, and Jordan snapped. Lunging, fists flying. A brawl erupting amid shouts. Security swarmed. Coach ejected him. The arena's roar turning to boos. In the tunnel, Jordan collapsed against me, sobbing. I can't. I ruin it. You didn't? I lied, holding him as sirens wailed outside. But the damage. Final buzzer without him, we clawed a win, but scouts cooled. Tyler? He thrived on the chaos, his narrative spinning us as drama queens. Back on campus, fallout crashed. Tyler went to the press. Anonymized quotes about toxic influences. Sponsors pulled feelers. Dad called, voice gravel, fight smart boys. Elena prayed novenas. Mike rallied the team in a midnight huddle. Voices unified. We stand. But Jordan spiraled, skipping drills, nights staring at ceilings. Betrayal's my brand, he'd mutter. I dragged him to Dr. Patel, who prescribed grace. Forgive yourself first. Climax crested at the draft combine in Chicago, skyline gleaming like false promise. Tyler was there, schmoozing agents. We entered as underdogs. Opening night, he cornered Jordan by the free throw line. Words venom. Your little fairy tale ends here. Pros don't want soap operas. Jordan froze, then fired back. Voice steady, eyes steel. My fairy tale? It's realer than your fake tough. He walked away, head high, and I swelled, proud, fierce love. Our runs that week, flawless. Scouts noticed the chemistry, the grit. Tyler faltered, nerves cracking his shot. On decision day, offers flooded. Not NBA, but G League pipelines. Overseas starts. Together. Betrayal's sting faded to scar. A reminder. Love's not unbroken. This mended, stronger. Summer post-combine was rebirth. Asbury's sun a bomb. Boardwalk alive with tourists oblivious to our odyssey. We lifeguarded again. Towers our perches. Scanning horizons for threats and treasures. Jordan tanned golden, laugh freer. I'd catch him watching me with that sea glass gaze, and we'd steal shifts and swims, bodies buoyant in the Atlantic's embrace. This, he'd say, treading water, is forever stuff. Dad hired us part-time at the shop, oil changes funding our escape fund, a shared account for whatever came next. Evenings, Elena's kitchen became confessional. Stories swapped over flan, her tales of Cuba's heat mirroring our hidden fires. Aunt Rosa visited, rosary in pocket, but hugs warmer. Dios bends for love, she'd wink. Campus fall brought evolution. Tyler transferred out, scandal of his own, a hazing tape surfacing, karma's quiet justice. We captained, jerseys crisp, leading with authenticity. Assemblies swelled. Kids approached shy. You guys give me hope. Jordan mentored a freshman, wide-eyed and closeted. Their talks echoing our garage nights. But conflict's embers glowed. A national mag profiled us. Hoop dreams and heartbreak. The gay stepbrothers redefining the game. Glory and glare. Haters trolled. Forums frothing agenda. Death threats pinging DMs. We lawyered up. Campus security shadowing practices. Dad drove up unannounced. Shotgun on the seat. Face thunder. Nobody messes with my boys. He stayed a week, teaching us self-defense in the empty gym. Moves blunt as his love. Jordan hardened, but so did I, shielding him, fielding calls, my game suffering as worry-weighted shots. One night, post-threat spike, he cracked. This fame? Is a cage. I just want us quiet. We fled to the Poconos. A cabin rental off I-80. Pines whispering secrets. Days hiking trails slick with autumn leaves. Nights by the fire. Stories spun. Bodies entwined in flannel sheets. Love's language beyond words. You're my outperform, he murmured, fingers tracing my spine. Every time. Return brought resolve. We channeled pain to purpose. Jordan started a podcast. Court lines. Love in the lane. Raw talks with queer athletes. Downloads surging. I TA'd sports psych. Essays on resilience flowing from lived truth. Team gelled. Undefeated streak blazing. Winter holidays shimmered. Asbury aglow with lights strung like stars. Dad proposed a toast at Elena's feast. To family. Blood or chosen. It's the glue. Glasses clinked. Tears brimmed. Post-dinner. Jordan and I walked the frozen shore. Breath clouds mingling. Think we'd have found this without the mess? He asked. Doubt it. I grinned. Rivalry's our origin story. Spring surged triumphant. And say tourney beckoned. Bracketologists penciling us deep. But betrayal's final twist lurked. Not from foes, but within. Jordan's agent called mid-March. A European pro team, fat contract, solo offer. He's their guy. The voice crackled. You? Stateside minor leagues. Panic flashed, separation specter. Jordan swore ignorance, but doubt seeded. Was this his out? A polished escape from our spotlight? Nights cooled. He'd pace dorms, phone glued, evasive. It's business, Ace. We make it work. I confronted in the gym, post-midnight, echoes hollow. Business? Or bailout? Tired of the fight. His face crumpled. Never you. But, yeah, scared. What if I drag you down forever? Down? I roared, ball slamming the wall. We've climbed together. This us is the win. He confessed then. The offer tempted isolation, a fresh start sans scrutiny. Thought it'd protect you, let you shine solo. Betrayal anew, but laced with love's desperation. We raged, words weapons, hurts hurled, until exhaustion dropped us to the floor, backs against the baseline, tears pooling. I can't lose you, I whispered. You won't, he vowed, turning, our hands clasping like lifelines. We declined the solo deal, negotiating tandem. Me to a feeder team abroad, synced seasons. Agents balked, we held firm. Non-negotiable, Jordan said, voice iron. Climax peaked in the tourney's Sweet 16, Charlotte Spectrum Center pulsing frenzy. Down to Duke, Blue Devils press suffocating. Halftime tied Tyler, now their bench, smirked from afar. Jordan, icing ankle pregame twinge, locked eyes with me. For us. Second half magic. His no-look to my buzzer three, crowd erupting. Final. 78-76. Net cutting, confetti raining joy. Post-game, Mike's thrust, Jordan pulled me close. Couldn't without my brother. My everything. The kiss, chaste, defiant. Flashed worldwide. Headlines blazing. Love steals the show. Backlash roared. Boycotts. Bans whispered. But support tsunami ed. Obama tweet. Proud of these young men. Glad spotlights. Dad cried watching ESPN. Elena beaming. Summer sealed it. Pro contracts inked. Spain bound together. Asbury send-off. Bonfire on the beach, town turning out. Toasts to our boys. Waves lapped applause as we boarded the plane. Hands intertwined. Betrayal's lessons. It sharpens, doesn't sever. Love, outgrown rivalry, endures. Exile in Valencia was velvet shock. Spain's sun kinder than Jersey's blaze. Paella steaming with saffron secrets. The Mediterranean a bluer mirror to our truths. We rented a flat overlooking the Turia Gardens. Cicadas chorusing evenings as we'd cook. Jordan chopping onions with dramatic flair. Me stirring paella while stealing kisses that tasted of garlic and grace. Pro ball was grind anew. Dusty gyms in Andalusia. Coaches barking in rapid Castilian. Teammates eyeing us curious then welcoming. Hugs instead of high fives. A queer forward from Madrid sharing tapas tales of his own closet odyssey. Nights, we'd roam cobblestone streets. Gelato melting in hands. Whispering futures. Coaching clinics back home. A foundation for LGBTQ youth in sports. Practice on, Jordan quipped, naming it after our origin floor. Laughter bubbled, easy now, scars faint as stretch marks. But America pulled, holidays via FaceTime. Dad's shop camoed in tinsel, Elena's virtual feasts. Whispers of return, G-League scouts circling. Whispers of NBA summer leagues. Conflict simmered subtle. Jordan's star ascended faster. Highlight reels flooding feeds, brands courting. Me, steady starter, but sidelined by a nagging hammy, watching from benches as he dazzled. Doubt crept, old rival ghost. Was I holding him? One call home, Dad's voice gravel gruff. Don't let ego eclipse. He's flying 'cause you taught him wings. Truth stung sweet. Climax redux. Summer League invite, Vegas redux but redemptive. We flew stateside. Jet-lagged but electric. The strips glow less siren now. Tryouts brutal, scrimmages under unblinking eyes. Bodies aching familiar. Jordan shone, crossovers poetry. I fed him, assists alchemy. Off-court Tyler resurfaced, now agent rep, schmoozing lobbies. He cornered us poolside, smirk oiled. Still playing house? Pros eat fairy tales. Jordan's laugh barked sharp. Nah, we wrote the book. What's your sequel therapy? Tyler flushed, slinking off. But his words lingered, seeding a final test. Post-scrimmage, Jordan pulled me aside. Arena emptying. Offer came. Lakers G-League. Solo. My gut twisted, echo of Valencia's fork. And, waiting on you. They want us both or nothing. Tears pricked. Pride swelled. Then we go together. We did duo-signed LA bound. Betrayal's last laugh. It propelled, not parted. Life now. Hollywood fringes, Venice beach runs at dawn. Gym floors our church. We coach weekends, practice on clinics, kids wide-eyed, dribbling dreams. Dad visits, Elena FaceTimes recipes. Aunt Rosa sends blessed jerseys. Last Asbury trip, we knelt gym floor, polished wood whispering memories. Outperformed expectations, Jordan murmured, hand in mine. Yeah, I echoed. And each other. Humanistic close. No perfection, just persistence. In America's vast court, we play on. Love the ultimate assist. Rivalry the spark that lit eternity.